start is I got offered a job hosting a Catholic podcast, and they fired me as I packed up everything in Adelaide. This is like 2 and a bit years ago. I had the kids and the wife, and on the way to America, I got fired. And they said, we'll still pay you rent. It's in Steubenville, Ohio, a beautiful Appalachian town just outside of Pittsburgh. And it's where we were 3 months I was there.
So what did they see that they fired you for?
Oh, a lot. They made a compilation video. No, the guy who shot, they were right to fire me. They were right.
No, they weren't.
No, because it was a good, clean Catholic podcast. And then the business manager was like, there was a sketch about stabbing someone in the throat with an AIDS needle. They're like, he uses the word cunt all the time. They're like, this is a sponsorship nightmare. Get him out. So I said, okay. But they still said, we'll pay you rent for 3 months. And you can figure something out. You still got a visa. And I was terrified. I was just in the snow.
With kids and a wife.
3 kids, no job. I didn't have the money to go back home.
Oh, my God.
We couldn't afford to go back home.
Oh, my God.
And I didn't know that I had been passed at the mothership because I didn't know how the system worked. So on the way in to go to Steubenville, where I was like, I'll figure something out, I stopped in at Austin to see Shane. Shane said, go and do the mothership open mic. I did it. Adam Egan said, if you're ever in town, come back. We'll pay for spots. I didn't know that meant I was passed. I didn't know I could work here. I just thought he was like, I could audition again. And then, so I had 3 confronting months in the snow. Beautiful part of the world. It was the most terrified I've ever been in my
He says that as an Australian. That's from Ohio.
I loved it.
That's the most beautiful part of the world.
I loved it. I went back and watched that Wild Whites of West Virginia.
Yeah, that's where
it looks exactly like that.
Well, that area is gorgeous.
It's God's country, but also so abandoned by, like, the potholes are crazy. I saw real heroin addicts. I'd never really seen heroin addicts before. Just sleepy people. I saw street prostitutes. That's still going on.
And this is a small town,
This is a small town. This is, I went there. There are Catholics have moved there to try and, like, fix it. It was where Dean Martin was from. The Wu-Tang Clan kind of started out there.
They're Staten Island.
No, yes, but I think it's like the RZA's auntie lived there, and they moved out there, and then they got involved in rap in the Pittsburgh scene.
I got to ask, RZA's on real soon.
I believe I'm right about that. They don't have a mural for them.
Wow.
But it's great. There's there's a lot of Catholic content creators there. And they're trying to take over town. I went there originally because New Polity is like my favorite magazine, and I got to meet the guys who made it, and I was so excited.
So how did they hire you? Wu-Tang's RZA found a second chance in Steubenville. Wow.
And then they all come over to visit him.
He discussed a largely undocumented era of his life in which Pittsburgh played a role. Wow.
And that's one of the first conversations we had. I was like, you said something about Pittsburgh that wasn't flattering. I said, I love Pittsburgh. And you're like, you don't know anything. You're a foreigner. You don't know anything about America. Pittsburgh is a horrible place. I was like, I don't know. I had a nice time there. I thought it was good.
It's just a little depressing. Do you see, like, the thing about a lot of those sort of industrial kind of towns, there's not a ton of options for people.
No.
Pittsburgh more so than like the place that you were in, but like when you get to a place where there's not a lot of options and then you see real poverty, like this is poverty with no solutions. You know what I mean? Not Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh.
Oh no, just outside of Pittsburgh.
I was more fucking
sure.
with you.
No, I saw things in West Virginia that were pretty confronting. And that are like caked, and some of it's great. Some of the things from the poverty are wonderful. Drive-through cigarette shop.
You like that?
I loved having drive-through cigarettes. So I got, just like trying to get the kids to sleep. My wife's upset because I got her in a foreign, like, again, she never signed up. Let's move to America. She was like, we'll go for 3 months.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, fuck, I'm unemployed. I better quickly figure out how to be a stand-up comedian. I was bussing out of Steubenville. I would like... someone gave me a lift to Pittsburgh. This is when I saw the worst stuff. I got a lift to Pittsburgh, and then I caught the Greyhound from Pittsburgh to Cleveland to open for Sam Tallent, who unbelievably let me open for him.
He's the best.
I'd met him in Australia. Yeah.
Such a good guy.
And, but like that bus trip from Pittsburgh to Cleveland was the most upsetting. Oh man. People were spitting on the ground at the bus station. Like an illegal immigrant woman came and tried to give me a phone. I remember that vividly.
Give you a phone?
She tried to give me a free phone. She's like, you can have this. Because she said, you're on benefits. everyone on benefits gets a free phone. It was some like policy. She just assumed I was on benefits because I was at the Greyhound bus station.
And she was illegal?
I don't know if she was illegal, but she had a strong accent and like a weird dress and a baby on her back and a sack full of phones.
A sack full of phones?
She had like a sack of phones.
So she was somehow in charge of distributing free phones to people?
I'll never truly know what that was about.
Boy, I would have investigated further.
There was, I was just scared. I was just scared. There were like
What the fuck?
huge African guys sitting on the ground.
Give you a phone.
Oh, it was, and then after that, I sat next to a guy who's having a full psychotic episode. I think we follow each other on Instagram now. He's gotten rid of his Instagram.
Really?
But yeah, and he told me the secrets about Chris Benoit, that he was a good man.
The wrestler?
He killed his family.
Yeah.
But this guy tried to tell me it's like burnt. He said he only killed his family to send them to God, and you can't blame a man for that. It's like, all right, this is only a 3-hour bus trip. We're going to get through this. We're going to be fine.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. But I did enjoy my time in that part of the world.
Well, you probably enjoy it now that it's over. That you survived
You
it.
make a good point.
Yeah. There's some things...
If you asked me at the time.
Yeah. There's some things that are not fun while they're happening, but are really fun once you got through it.
I mean, I remember the people I met along the way. I remember driving to Austin and like it was like spring was like the further south we got, the more lush it became.
Yeah.
And it was like, fuck, I might be okay. And then someone let me stay in their house. I didn't have a house to stay in, so a podcast listener's friend let us stay in their
With
house.
your family?
With my whole family. Let us house sit for them while they were in Japan.
Oh, my God. That's crazy.
Oh, no, the whole time it was like, if I don't get past the mothership now, I don't think people should come here and live in their cars with their family, but it does,
Lights a fire under your ass.
worked.
Well, that's the thing. It's like if you're forced into action,
Yeah.
like you had not just yourself, like you could go, oh, woe is me. But when you're a father and a husband, you have children.
Yeah.
And people who do not have children do not understand the drive that it gives you to protect and care for those little people. It's kind of crazy. So if you'll find something.
Well, I don't understand how people do it without, like I meet men who are really driven and motivated and they have no kids. But they're like, every day they're working hard. I don't know what their motivation is. Before I had kids,
Money.
I was just, what are you doing? Buying things?
They're in a game. They're playing a game.
No.
Yeah, they're just playing this game of accumulate the most stuff, be able to brag about the most stuff you have. And
So much rather lie down. I would rather not do anything if I had a choice.
But not really, because you love doing comedy.
I love doing comedy, but I never, before I had kids, was trying to do comedy that people would enjoy. Do you know what I mean?
I think that is
was
also,
like-
though, because you were living in Australia and there's limited options, right? Can you explain,
I had
like,
no
the
options.
Australian system is very different
It's
than America.
very-
It's mostly festival-driven,
It's
correct?
festival-driven, and it's, to a much greater extent, I've thought about this, it's like industry-driven. Like,
Industry.
yeah, we don't have...
Which industry?
Like managers and agents, which is one role in Australia, but they are deciding who's succeeding, and TV people are deciding who's succeeding. Whereas, like in America, everybody is on the road, everybody has one or two openers, and there's a whole lineage of who brought who up
Right.
in the business. Like Dan Soder had Nick Mullen, Tim Dillon, and Shane Gillis open for him. Like those were his openers.
Right.
And not because they were successful or someone wanted them to thrive. He just thought they were funny people.
Right.
And they got to be his openers. And I don't know who you were opening for, but you have people who come up and...
Well, I
You get
didn't
to put
really
them
do it. I didn't have it that way. I do it that way, but I didn't have it that way. I didn't really come up with anybody where I opened for anybody. But I had a very weird path to success.
You got to go to LA and just be in the milieu. Like, there's a scene there. There's a lot of people.
I came out to LA with a job already.
Okay.
I was on a sitcom already.
You started in Boston, though.
Yes. Started in Boston. Look, it's very embarrassing how lucky I am. I'm like one of the luckiest people that's ever lived. Like, it's stumble upon success after success. So when I was 6 years into comedy, I was already on TV. So I was 3 years into comedy. I was basically barely getting paid. I was barely a professional. Like, I was getting some spots in bars and stuff like that. I was making money, but I was driving limousines. I was doing odd jobs, doing different things. And I was also still teaching at the time. I was still teaching Taekwondo for the first maybe 6 months or so when I was 21, I think I kept teaching. And then I eventually had to quit because I realized I could not commit to doing both things. I don't want to half-ass my students.
Yeah.
And I don't want to... So for the first 2-3 years of comedy, barely, I'm barely a comedian. I'm trying. I'm trying to do it. I'm getting some laughs. Met a manager as an open micer. And he brought me to New York. And he's still my manager today.
Wow.
The best.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's total luck. Total luck.
You're also a super handsome guy. I've seen you then.
I was boy pretty.
You look like a fucking different person. First of all, not worse. It is crazy. But also, a lot of those comics who you started with, who maybe it took longer, were, I won't say hideous, but they didn't look.
Well, that definitely
great.
helped me get on television. It definitely helped me get on television. So I did the MTV Half-Hour Comedy Hour in 1993, I believe it was. And next thing you know, I had a development deal. Next thing you know, I was on a sitcom and living out here.
I mean, that
living
happened fast. But do you think
LA.
it doesn't happen for people? Do you think there's anyone in America who has a good work ethic and is really talented that it doesn't work out for in comedy? Or does it work out eventually?
You'd have to have a health issue. Health issues or a really horrible relationship. Those things could do you in.
Or like you could have a drug problem.
Yeah, that'll do you in.
Gamble your money away.
That could do you in too. Yeah. There's a bunch of things that can do you in.
But that's crazy. Like that, there are like not a lot of undiscovered geniuses in America in the same way. Like people will want to make money off of you if you've got it.
Yeah, but there's some people that are just really horrible at marketing, like Brian Holtzman, for instance.
Yeah.
Right? We had to kind of like force Brian Holtzman into the modern era.
Yes.
Like, and he's always been a comics comic, and he's always been a guy that we would all sit in the back of the room at the store and watch. But he was always getting these terrible spots, and it wasn't until we brought, because he never went on the road. Brian and I started out together. So at the store together in 94, we were both like, I think he came in 93 and I came a year later.
And he was working for like Pan Am or something?
He was a dog catcher for a while. Yeah. He was I think he might have been a meter maid.
Is he here at the moment? I haven't seen him yet.
Yes, he's here all the time.
Okay.
He lives out here now.
Off to Thailand.
I don't know if he goes back and forth, but he lives out here all the time. He's the best.
I went to church with him. I don't know if I should tell this story, but we went to church together once, and it was really lovely. He took me out for breakfast afterwards because he's Catholic, and it was so funny because the priest at the end like gave the announcements, and one of the things he was like, they're doing a parish, they're doing like what do you call it, like a talent show for everybody. And he's just announcing this to the whole like 300 people, and Brian goes there every week, and they go, so if anyone's got a skill, if anyone's a juggler, anyone's a comedian, come and do that for the talent show for everybody. And he gave no impression that he would be doing it, but I love, you fucking spoon-faced Japs. I think he would be terrified and upset if he had brought that. He's the sweetest man, and I don't want to give that away if people don't know.
He's a
lovely man.
He's a great guy in real life. He always was. Like I've known him forever. So so he's what I would say is like an undiscovered genius, because he was a guy that's just fucking killing it, but never went on the road. He only just worked the store. I rarely saw him even at like the Laugh Factory or the Improv. I don't know if I could ever recall seeing him at those places.
But he had to consciously make the decision not to go on the road.
Well, it's hard because it's not offered to you. You know, it's like, how do you do it? If you just do all your sets at the store, you kind of have to have someone take you with them, right? Yeah. So what happened with me is I mostly did the road around New York and Connecticut. So when I moved to New York in, I guess, a 91-ish, so probably like 91-ish. And so when I moved there, the real money, like to be able to pay bills, was in the road. It was not in New York City. New York City did not pay very well. You can get a lot of spots, but also I was really new, so maybe I couldn't have gotten a lot of spots. But I